Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin, and today I'm going to be doing a 5-star prediction video. For this video, I decided to only do predictions for 2021 releases from January through June, and then I'll do a second video for the second half of the year once there have been more books released for second half of the year, because I don't have very many on my list right now. So for January through June, I have 10 books. I have 5 fantasies, 1 historical fiction, 1 science fiction, 1 mystery, and 2 romances. And so I'm going to break them down by genre. So first, my historical fiction. My historical fiction 5-star prediction is The Four Winds by Kristin Hannah, which comes out on February 2nd. This makes my list mostly because of the author. I read 2 Kristin Hannah books previously, her last 2 releases, The Nightingale and The Great Alone, and I loved both of those. The Nightingale is my favorite historical fiction of all time, and The Great Alone is probably one of my top 5 favorite historical fictions of all time. And so the only thing I know about her new book, The Four Winds, is that it takes place during the Dust Bowl era. I don't know anything past that, but given how much I loved her previous 2 historicals, I'm putting her newest one on this list. For mystery, I have 1 prediction, which is The Bombay Prince by Sujata Massey, which comes out on June 1st. This one, like the last book, is similarly mostly on this list because of who wrote it. This is the 3rd book in the Perveen Mystery series, which I mentioned in my series tag as a series I discovered last year and really enjoyed. It follows a Perveen Mystery, who is a woman lawyer in 1920s India, which is a time in which women lawyers were not accepted or really allowed. And it's an episodic series where each book follows a different mystery case, and so this is the 3rd one. Both of the first 2 got 5 stars from me, and so I'm not even really sure what the 3rd one is about, other than another adventure of Perveen Mystery solving some cases as a lawyer, and that's good enough for me. I think I'm gonna love it. Next up, for my science fiction pick, I have Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, which comes out May 4th. This is his 3rd book, his first 2 being The Martian and Artemis, both of which I read. The Martian is my favorite science fiction book of all time, and Artemis was not as good, but still really good, solid 4 stars for me. His new book, Project Hail Mary, seems to be more in the vein of The Martian, where it's about a single person in space trying to save, in this case, save the world, and The Martian was save himself. And in a review I read, someone said that the new book takes all of the best things from The Martian and makes it better. And so the premise, as well as really that review, has me thinking I will probably give his newest book 5 stars as well. Next up is my 2 romance predictions for 5 stars. First up is The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary, which comes out April 29th. This is Beth O'Leary's 3rd book, and I have also read her previous 2, The Flat Share and The Switch. I gave The Flat Share 5 stars. I read it last week, actually, and really loved it, and The Switch was a solid 4 star. I think this one will be a 5 star for me, because one thing I think The Flat Share did better than The Switch was the romance. The Switch was more just kind of women's fiction, whereas The Flat Share was a romance, and her newest one sounds like it will be a romance versus kind of a women's fiction with a hint of romance. And it's also a forced proximity road trip book, and those are some tropes that I really love in romances. So these combinations of things have me putting this on my 5-star prediction list. The second romance I think will be 5 stars is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, which comes out May 11th. I've read 1 Emily Henry book. I read Beach Read, which came out last year, and it was one of my top favorite romances of the year, and that's really the main reason her newest release is on this list. The premise is also a friends to lovers, kind of a second chance vibe, and I like Friends to Lovers, and I liked her previous book, so together, I think it'll be another 5-star read for me. And now for my 5 fantasy predictions. The first is The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick, which comes out January 19th. This is a book about a female con artist who is trying to trick her way into a noble house to help secure her and her sister's future. And once she gets there, she kind of discovers there's a lot more going on in the city and the houses than she thinks. This has made my list because, 1, the premise sounds good, but mostly because M.A. Carrick is a writing duo of Marie Brennan and Alec Helms, and in my series video, I talked about my all-time favorite series, which is The Memoirs of Lady Trent, which was written by Marie Brennan. And so I'm really excited to see this new book she's publishing, and I think I'm going to love it. My next book on this list is Hall of Smoke by H.M. Long. This also comes out January 19th. This is a standalone adult fantasy about a exiled warrior priestess who was exiled from her town after she disobeyed orders directly from her goddess, and while she has been banished and away, her town gets destroyed, and so she goes on a quest to find the people who did it so that she can redeem her name and earn her place back into the high halls of the afterlife with her loved ones. I think this just sounds good. It kind of feels like kind of a Viking inspired setting, and that just really intrigues me. And the reviews I've seen for it so far sound good, so think I'm gonna love it. And I pre ordered it, and it's coming soon, so hopefully I'll get to read it soon and find out. The next book on this list is The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gornichev. Gornichek, I think that's how you say it, which comes out on February 9th. This is a reimagining of Norse mythology, and I believe it's a reimagining with a main character who is a new character that the author has inserted into this Norse mythology and kind of reimagines and retells Norse mythology around this character. And that just sounds really good to me. Retellings always pique my interest, especially mythology retellings. I was a big Percy Jackson nerd when I was little, so any stories inspired by or using mythology always hook me. And this one just sounded like to be something really different with the way they did the reimagining of Norse mythology. So I'm really interested to pick it up and really excited to read it. The next book on this list is Sing Me Forgotten by Jessica S. Olsen, which comes out on March 9th. This is, I believe, a young adult fantasy that is a gender-bent retelling of The Phantom of the Opera, and that's all I needed to throw this right on this list. The Phantom of the Opera is one of my favorite movie musicals of all time. Not my favorite, but definitely top 5. I've loved the music in it. I love the story. I've watched it so many times. So gender-bent retelling of Phantom of the Opera sounds amazing. The last book on this list is The Jasmine Throne by Sasha Turry, which comes out on June 10th. This makes the list because I really loved the other duology I've read by Sasha Turry, the Books of Amba, which is on my top favorite series of all time list. And so I'm really intrigued and excited to read more by her. Also, I think the book sounds good. It's about a priestess and a maidservant who are in possession of the ability to do forbidden magic, and they team up and go on a quest to save their world from the princess's brother. I think that sounds good. I also think I've seen that this book has sapphic romance in it, and based on how much I loved the romances in Sasha Turry's last book, I think the romance in this one is going to be amazing, and I love fantasy that has subplots of romance, so I am very excited about this one. It's the first in a new series, and I can't wait to read it. So those are my 10 5-star predictions for the first half of this year. Some of these I pre-ordered, some of them I plan to pre-order, so hopefully I'll be able to read all of them and check in before it's time to make the second part of this video for my second half of the year top 5 predictions. And I've never tried to predict a 5-star before, so we'll see how well I do and how well I know my own reading taste. See you next time!